hopefully, and it's coming to you here on Famcast Media. Pat, great to be back with you, brother. Let's dive right into the news. Interesting story today, man. I'm not sure if you saw it on Twitter. Actually, happened to be on a few mainstream sites like Sports Illustrated today. Tammy Sytch, formerly known as Sunny, WWF slash WWE Hall of Famer, Sunny, pleading no contest today in a Florida courtroom to a DUI manslaughter charge and ultimately faces up to 25 years in state prison. So certainly, the life of Tammy Sytch has been really full of hills and valleys, folks. And but right now, she's perhaps at her lowest point. She was set to face trial for a DUI manslaughter charge from an incident occurring back in the spring of 2022. She's entered a plea of no contest to that felony charge, which ultimately makes the most significant development in her legal case. If you all remember, she was arrested in May of 2022 in connection to the unfortunate death of Julian Lassiter, a 75-year-old driver who lost his life in a traffic incident.
Is it Jay or Julian Lassiter?
Julian Lassiter.
Okay. Just
I'm not that lucky to have Jay Lassiter expired. So, and it took place in Ormond Beach, Florida. And the charges she faced include one count of DUI causing death, another count of causing death while operating a vehicle with a suspended and or revoked license, 4 counts of DUIs causing injury to a person, and 3 counts of DUI causing damage to property. As reported today, Sytch's decision has potential repercussions with, again, a maximum prison sentence of 25 years. Now, it depends on what the judge will sentence her to. But there's a lot of mitigating factors here. Of course, all the charges combined. Apart from her plea in relation to a felony causing death charge, court documents did detail that Sytch also pleaded no contest to a felony charge of driving with a suspended license and obviously causing death. It underscores really the gravity of the situation. When she was taken into custody, she had a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. Detail given her history of previous arrests due to impaired driving. Pat, this could ultimately be really the sad ending to the life of Tammy Sytch because she just might die in prison. We're talking about a long prison, and it's a sad. I think it's really the ultimate sad ending for her.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say that my thoughts in this upcoming segment are sponsored by Estrella Galicia. Estrella Galicia. When you need a little kick on your weekend. It's unfortunate that this happened. It's unfortunate that Tammy has had so many problems throughout the years. Speaking as somebody who came across Tammy and Chris when, they had just left ECW when they had closed down and they were doing indie dates and stuff. Actually, this was right after he left WCW, actually. He was rocking the Terry Funk tights. Chris was obviously just such a cool guy, really nice person, somebody who I have immense respect for. And Tammy, too, man. Tammy was really cool with us young wrestlers. She let us sit and hang out with Chris. She didn't give a shit. She didn't torment us like she did to some of the other guys. But, they were marks, so they kind of deserved it. But, she was always very nice to me in my personal encounters with her. Then again, I wasn't really anybody on the card, so I could understand, why she might not have felt threatened by somebody like me or some of the other younger wrestlers that, were with me. But just something incredibly sad to see. She hasn't been able to kind of deal with those demons, and it's unfortunate that it's come to this. More than likely, she's probably going to die in prison, and just what a sad end to, a story of a beautiful woman, and a person that was loved by, a lot of people, really. Just a sad situation to see. I feel for the family of the guy who passed away in that accident. And it goes to show you, you can't fuck around, man. You can't fuck around when it comes to drugs or alcohol. Be smart about it, folks. You want to have a drink out there, call an Uber, man. Have a friend give you a ride. There's a million different ways to do it. You're taking any kind of recreational drugs, be smart about it, man. Don't go out there. Don't operate a vehicle impaired. But just a sad end to a once very, very promising career and an iconic talent. I think it's safe to say that she's iconic, Fernando. She was the first diva, pretty much, that we had in the business. And the boyhood dream of many a young man growing up, myself included. So sad end to see for Tammy, but even worse for the family that lost their loved one.
No, certainly. And, just a few weeks back during the premiere of this season's Dark Side of the Ring, just from looking at some research, it was one of the highest rated episodes this season, documenting her story along with Chris Candido and what a fall from grace that was for him for different reasons than hers. A little bit more on Dark Side later, as rumors are running rampant that due to the success of this season, possibly season 5 could be coming up for Vice, but more on that later.
Will
But
we finally see Dark Side of the Dark Side? Like, will they talk about Palpatine? Palpatine, I heard, was there on January 6th. Anakin was involved with some of the BLM riots somewhere. I don't know if that's ever talked about. Yoda.
Yeah.
Well, Yoda was a part of the first Antifa group that was out there, from what I understand as well. So, I mean, a very dark past for some of these Jedis and Sith Lords. But, Vice, if you're listening, please, Dark Side of the Dark Side, would love to see it.
But obviously for a lot of us that maybe don't remember really what happened to Skip and Sonny in the mid to late 90s, I thought that was a good refresher for people. But back to Tammy's situation, I mean, you're looking at this and, I mean, the details are serious. And I think one of the more egregious things, and maybe a big mitigating, again, I'm not an attorney, but certainly I would argue that one of the mitigating factors in sentencing coming up is the amount of DUIs that she's had under her belt already, which is really weird because whether it's in the state of Florida, I know she's had one in, I think, Virginia, even back in New Jersey. I mean, the idea that she's even been able to operate a motor vehicle after so many years when, again, these DUIs have been piling up, like my student loan bills that have yet to be repaid, which was promised to me. But, I mean, it's weird. So I don't know if the judge ultimately during sentencing is going to take that into consideration and imposes the maximum sentence. I mean, she's not old per se. She's in her 40s now. But again, when you're talking about a maximum sentence of 25 years to prison, life in prison, I mean, she very well could die there. And I don't know what job her attorneys, I mean, there certainly isn't some public campaign to ask for leniency. I doubt Governor DeSantis will pardon her. It's a sad ending to her. And I think hopefully it's a cautionary tale, not just for people in the wrestling, but I think just for life in general about taking that many liberties. And, sooner or later, you compile that many DUIs. And in this case, she killed a person and she caused considerable property damage. I'm sure that any restitution that is owed to that family, they won't see a nickel. It's a shame because of what happened, obviously, going into that incident back in the spring of last year. We'll see. I think sentencing is expected sometime in the fall. We'll keep you posted here, folks, on the show as to any developments in this case, but certainly a very sad ending.
Fern, there was a couple of comments there from the Dungeon podcast. Somebody had said, why can't Sean save her? What is Sean supposed to do? Super kick the fucking cop? Is that what he's supposed to do? He's gonna super kick the fucking the fucking blood alcohol fucking gun. He's gonna super kick that shit out of the cop's hand for her. Like, really? And then what? Sexy Boy's gonna play and he's gonna take off in a fucking helicopter? Let's be real. She needed to save herself. And honestly, it could have been a lot stiffer, the penalty. Let's be real. It could have been a lot worse. She could have been sentenced to death. If she would have had a bunch of banned books in that car while she was drinking and driving, forget about it. They would have sentenced her to death. So
it's possible.
She lucked out. But yeah, man, just a really, really messed up situation, man. And it's a shame. And to your point, man, I hope this serves as a cautionary tale to a lot of young talent, to just people out there in general, man. Be a little bit wiser with your decisions because they do come with serious consequences.